I was kind of nervous and excited because it's like, well, usually it's like if it's a Japanese restaurant and there are Asian people working there, you would assume that they're probably Japanese, and otherwise they would open a Chinese restaurant. No, they're Chinese.
What's announced?
But it's like the girl who came and served us. I said thank you in Japanese, and she just kind of looked away. And then when she back, I was like, "Do you speak Japanese?" She's like, "No." She's very nice. Like, sorry. And then I heard the older person talking, and I was like, "Oh, dang, that's clearly Chinese." So it's like they're Chinese and open to Japanese restaurants.
We don't have a very big Japanese presence here
No.
in Wichita. It's
So it's
mostly
like, I don't-
Vietnamese and Lao and some Chinese.
All right, she's texting today,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna have you test her.
Are you bowing in?
Yes.
About it.
We should get to this.
You should get this.
Sherrod on the left.
I've asked Sherrod to quarantine himself for a week or two. Get out here, what the hell's he doing here? Oh, you tested it? What did you tell me that?
I just got the call. About, right before 8 o'clock, about 9:30.
Well, so, I don't have a alert on.
Well, I figured I surprised.
All right, so you don't have to wear a mask.
I figured I'd get you. I think I didn't get everybody sick.
So out of curiosity, how is it at Spirit? Because Textron just released a newsletter saying that normal attendance rules apply to COVID now, so you have to have the time off to cover it. But with that, with regards to that, you don't have to report that you have COVID to Textron.
That's fucked up, yeah, he showed me the,
I don't
the
know.
email, and I'm like, that.
I really don't even know. I just know that it's Spirit, if you, they're not paying you to take it. I know that like on a 6-man crew, four members of my crew all tested high. And that's enough for me to say, hey, I need
So what are they doing about it?
Like, well, they're not at work, right?
No, they're not at work. Them guys, they've been secretly getting sick, taking off for a week here and a week there.
That's the thing, they don't give us time off anymore. They say you have to have the sick or vacation to cover
They
it.
didn't tell us that
Oh,
yet.
that's crazy, somebody needs to sue the shit out of it.
If they did, I don't know. Shit, if they did, I don't know. It wasn't reported to me. They can kiss my ass.
The thing that was unusual about it is you look at that little thing and it says, if this directive disagrees with the CDC's guidelines or your state and local guidelines, then those supersede it.
I know.
I'm wondering if it's a legalese
Well,
thing.
they contradict themselves because like in our big meeting, they're like, make sure you still follow CDC guidelines.
Right.
But
So-
you don't have to report it.
My guess is though is that
I didn't know who it was.
CDC guidelines say
You know what them
quarantine
shoes are?
and don't go to work.
Keep them there so I don't forget.
My
He's
guess,
got
my
pictures.
guess is
It's a
it's a lease thing where their lawyers put it out, and it's like a way of them
This is where I got you on
phase
Thursday,
out
dude.
their personal restrictions while allowing the government
Ready to fight
to
today.
continue to have the same
Oh,
effect.
he's laughing.
It's their
We
way
should have showed up
of,
for secret class.
maybe they
Well,
feel like the CDC.
they didn't call me
is
until
relaxed
after
at some
secret
point,
class
and
to
they
tell
want
me
to get
that.
ahead of it, so they just say, basically,
I'm
do
just
the
a bad
CDC
negative,
says,
but I
but
need
we
to go to the
personally
doctor.
aren't going to have those rules.
I mean, that's exactly what
y'all
they
have,
said. They
yeah.
said that they don't
That's
feel
our
like
condition
COVID.
now, thanks to COVID. I
They feel like
have
we have
high blood pressure all day.
30,000
And he said, well, you
employees.
probably need to go check. I'm gonna release you to work. Up there, if you go through medical and report COVID, they have to take you off campus. That's water.
I remember it's
Might be something else.
unfortunate, but I think it's amazing that they found that, like, you know how Warcraft did that whole, thing where they had a pandemic inside. And one of the things they found were there were people who would spread it on purpose. And they found it's like that happens in real life.
All
It's
right,
like
let's get
people
that
doing
in.
that.
They got stuff to do.
He's gonna kick me in the back, that's all right.
Ready?
Ah, he's fine.
Jikdo is a non-classical, non-traditional Chinese American martial art developed by Bruce Lee and James Lee for actual combat in the street. It was described by Bruce Lee as scientific street fighting. The derived from Wing Kung Fu, Western boxing and fencing, using the principles of realism, simplicity, and individuality, will explore competition or aesthetics, using no as a way, having no limitation as a limitation.
I had to slow us down there a little bit. Like, you know, not gonna do that. Yeah. Next one was fun. Good.
So we got stuff to do.
Anybody testing today?
Yes, Nico is.
Oh, no.
Yeah, by the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shoulders back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9.
For the first time in 6 months, I think, we've just got the fans on.
It does feel good.
Went up to the house, I guess it was good.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3,
So Sherrod, I'm going to have you working with the higher up. And Andrew and Cohen can work on some of their higher levels.
So it is my old stuff?
Huh?
Both years.
Okay.
The tests are basically the same, just with some more stuff.
More stuff. Just with all this stuff.
Yeah, I just meant like the first degree versus the second degree test, not too much different.
So them down is pretty much it.
Third degree test.
Third degree, sorry.
Third degree test.
Plan on testing out next.
And
Jump you.
jump you.
No,
but I got my
stripe and I had to put it down.
You are wearing shoes that fit shoes. Yes.
I noticed that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They came like that.
A couple of my tests I was really, really not.
There's another pair just like
Yeah.
it.
The office would ask me to train, and I value the opinion because he always says he'll never ask you to take a test if you're not ready.
Yep.
So whether you know it or not, it's all on you to challenge your own self.
That is all very true.
The only time we do that is on the very first one because nobody thinks they're ready on the first one. I thought I was ready on the first one. Everybody thinks it's like, well, you know, I've only come to 6 classes. I don't think I can do it.
Right, right.
You really can.
The lowest level test that I've ever seen somebody not pass was red.
That's a hard test.
It is a tough one, yeah.
That was the, like, that's the basic, to me, that's a basic black sash test, really.
Shoot, you guys took.
It really is, it's the basic black sash test.
Remember how hard the test used to be?
Yeah, well, we're gonna come back.
I had to get out there on that red, tell them, girl, when we got our red sashes, then we took it on.
Well, no, it's just what basically what was, it's like green with stripe was just green.
Oh,
Yeah, all we're doing is taking the stripes away.
okay.
Right, but like the material that's on the green with stripe test is the entire green test.
Yeah.
So that's your first one, is what you took
Yeah,
last time.
the only difference is, you know, we've added the double blocks and stuff like that.
Well, because what I remember specifically what we did was
We
we
were
said,
trying to
well,
really fill those out a little bit.
we said we need to put a stripe and split these in half, and so we just kind of went through them and said, well, what's the hardest things on here, and then we just separated those out.
Right.
So I've decided a new thing for our stretching at the end of the class.
What's that?
We're instead of that hip flexor one, and instead of tree, we're instead going to add one that stretches both the hip flexor and does balance.
Nice.
Nice.
That's the half moon that I was showing.
That hip flexor really, really helped me out a lot.
But like this, you will learn how much you are not flexible with your hip flexor just yet.
My hip is messed up right
Not getting-
So don't do it.
Andrew, what do you want to work on today? Your stuff. You got all 25.
Yeah.
You got all the counters against common lots.
Uh-huh.
All the lop sows.
Definitely want to go to the Lop's house.
Definitely want the lop sows.
Yeah.
Do some kicking.
Yeah, some kicking too.
All right.
You'd all.
You're welcome to go outside and do all this stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty nice out there right
It
now.
is, and it didn't rain too much. The grass shouldn't be too slick.
No.
We need to create some more flowing, like, some more moving kick drills.
You know, we've got a ton of them. We just don't do them.
Right there in the book.
No, I mean, we got a bunch of combinations, but not like the moving kick drill like we do, you know, with the front snap, with the side kick, reverting side kick, hook, and
That's
then
professor's made.
Huh?
That's the professor's little kick drill.
Right.
Okay.
But you can take those combos.
Right
and
here,
add foot.
right here in the book, we've got left oblique, left oblique, left side, right hook, and if the opponent is out of range, do a burning foot side. So that's one. The next one is left thrust, front kick. If the opponent holds his position, follow up with a right hook kick or left oblique. If the opponent backs up, follow up with a burning foot. So, you know, we got a lot of stuff down.
do that. But
Active kick drill, we've never really figured that out, and Bill will not release anybody to show me that. We tried to figure it out a few times.
Is some of it what Bruce is doing in Enter the Dragon?
I think so. I think it's that,
Well, he did that one where he did that jump and like tap his foot behind
Right.
his hand. It's like, is that just to look cool?
it's an old kung fu thing. He did it in the
What would be the purpose of it?
it's just a kung fu drill.
Okay.
He did it in that tournament where he was discovered. We have double kick drills, triple kick drills, moving kick drills, stationary kicks.
Is no one but the Oakland people the ones who would know what the active kick drill is?
As far as I know, Andrew Kareem was the last one I knew that they had to test on.
Right,
He won't show me until he gets permission from them.
right.
They'll
I was just
not
wondering
give-
if anyone from the actual Oakland school at the moment knows.
I seriously doubt it, but I don't know.
That might be an interesting thing to send them a message, see what they say. I know-
Felix Jr. is the one who runs it. I don't
Yeah.
know him personally.
Yeah. This might be interesting to see if somebody else might have a source on it.
And my problem is it's not something Bruce filmed or showed off or anything.
Right.
So my problem with it is anybody can call the active kick drill anything they want.
Right.
You know, or call up
And,
any kicks.
and it has the list of the kicks, right?
It does in hours, yeah.
Count.
And it's right and lefts.
Right.
It's doing right and left stuff.
Might be fun to play with.
We might be able to figure it out now.
Yeah.
Starting Tuesday, we're going back to Wing Chun on Tuesdays and Thursdays,
Yeah.
5 o'clock. So whoever wants to be here, be here.
have you talked to CP Chan at all?
About what?
Just like recently?
Not recently. Not saying. Let's see. June was going to be our opportunity, and then we thought we were going to be doing the summer camp. And then by the time that we decided, we found out we couldn't do summer camp, it was too late to register for that training. So the next training will come in this summer. The next seafood training will come in this summer. So if you want to do, you've got to get through all that
Right.
other stuff before you can do that seafood training.
Yeah. So where's where's
Michigan.
based at?
Michigan.
But we did it,
Remote. There's a-
so we don't have to go.
Well, I know for like each individual test.
Right.
but I'm just like.
No, I meant even the regular training that we're talking about,
Right.
whereas the seminar, it's through Zoom. So yeah, we did it here. We didn't have to go. If we had to go, we wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, it's a 4-hour training.
Yeah.
But you gotta get up to a certain level before you let you do the training.
Who was it that was just not having a good day? Roger was not having a
Roger,
good day.
the last one I wasn't having. The last one was Joe, no, Joe, listen, Joe.
Yeah.
No, what?
Yeah, then Roger was not having a good time the first time.
Right.
Like, Roger, no, that's not, yes,
Try like this.
like this.
Roger.
And that's very hard to do through Zoom. To like teach somebody, like, I know that's not right, but it's like this.
Well, and I was listening, and I mean, you mean like this? No, it's the other way. You mean like this? No.
Yeah, quite so.
And then Michael would go, like this. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was just talking about that
Right.
you put it in position and then turn.
Right. And I was
going,
I was turning and putting it in position,
Yeah.
rather than putting it in position and then turning it.
Yeah.
I was trying to JKD it up.
well, it's like otherwise this would serve, like if it was this, that would be no different than
Right.
that. So it's like, why do it?
Right.
It's like, but this is totally different.
Yeah, Andrew. First time. Go ahead.
People, I got a question.
I have an answer. You
Why
want
do
a
I
correct
always
answer?
see Bruce
Or
Lee?
customer?
Why do I always see Bruce Lee posing with like? It may be a silly question, but I noticed, that when I look at him, his hands are not in a mic. When he gets in his ready stand, one of his hands is open like this a lot.
Hollywood, because it looks cool. Hollywood, man. Don't look at the stuff from Hollywood.
You have to look at the home videos and the home.
That's not simple.
Like, well, I thought it was like
But if
maybe
he's
a
going-
secret Bruce Lee weapon when he does this.
No.
When he puts his hand up like that.
Hollywood.
He said it looks cool. It does look.
That's all it is.
That was his job, was to look cool.
All right, so if you guys want to get shields and go outside, do your thing, go. You are doing what I can't read up there.
I had
You got piper.
Woo-hoo! Well, see, I truly believe they already know it.
You're gonna have the low spin students sweep the pork chop everybody.
Another building technique. It's just 25. The one grade building technique.
More leaves fall than I want to sweep up.
He said, the back pitch cross, all different. You know that already. I'm just giving you the competition with this. You already know. Technique.
I had to get the different moves.
About the only thing that she won't know is the yogis,
In the basic entry instruction.
Okay,
which is on the left
start
side
from
of the
natural.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Start from natural, and now we do.
Smart.
Yeah. So,
All right.
here, and then.
Well,
step
let's get up
in.
much fast.
Yeah, so. Okay.
Okay. We're going. I know it. Right. Hot rod. All right. Hold up, basic backwards cross, right? Which is going to be one with snap. See that? See how? Whip. Backwards cross with the hip rotation, leg rotation.
Lead chapter.
Right. One shoulder movement. Like that. See that? Get in there with a little small lunge or whatever place need to compensate to get in closer combative range. And that's it. You're gonna work on some of these today and get on the
That's kind of a cross.
enter into striking and building techniques. So we get to a little bit of it.
Gerard, if I didn't thank you for being cautious.
Right now, you're doing back twist a little bit.
We're being cautious about
I mean, well,
about our health.
it's not just me, you know, it's everybody around me. And I realize that. You're welcome. I'm staying on it.
I do appreciate it. I don't want to get sick. Shaylene's coming back to class. I don't want her to get sick. I don't know I can get sick.
So we're going back to, back to just the fact that, not bad, not bad.
Not bad, but don't count them off. 1, 2, 3, hit.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, hit. Don't do that. Fire it from where it is.
Use a more conventional target.
I'm gonna get you learn how to whip it.
Whip it good.
Relax a little bit when you do it, that's all. Not bad. Now it's the rest of the not bad, that's good.
Lead backwards, lead up.
Get the target.
Yeah.
That crosses, the energy shouldn't be coming like this, the energy should go straight through. I can hold the target out here, 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 and no matter where that target is, your energy should go on that power stride, boom, be concentrated to the center line, balance.
Flip jab backwards.
No. There you go, see how you did it? There you go. Yeah. Switch. Not bad, not bad. Not bad, not bad at all. Okay. Lead jab, rear hook.
Back to cross straight punch.
That's, nope. And rear hook. Don't over anticipate the target, because I might go fast, I might go
More
slow.
or less with the straight punch. Like you don't want to go way over there. There
Not bad, not bad, not bad. Work on not shaking your hands.
I'm still doing it.
we go. Back to cross, lead up. There you go.
Good job, you're a great class. You got something great.
Back.
Look good.
Or natural. There you go.
Lead jab,
Oh, you did.
boom, lead jab, right?
Hit it, switch.
Rear hook. Rear hook.
Hit. Back to cross, uppercut.
Just work on a little bit pivoting your feet.
Okay.
If I could give you any tips that will help
Back to cross, almost.
you with your mobility and your punches, is continue to work on your hips and feet rotation. Lead jab. So, second hand. Just fire it. Without talking back. From where it's at.
Back to cross,
Yeah.
elbow.
Not bad. And you learn how to talk, so you pivot in a little bit. That's all right. Now let me see you pivot that rear hook.
Switch.
Yeah, see how you gotta roll that hips.
Okay.
Rear hook.
Dizzy's 1 through 4.
Not like that. This
Rear hand lead
this
doesn't.
firing the jab, but you change the angle from going straight in. It looks to the side. That's all. And when you do it, you have to rotate that. No, rotate that foot. Yeah. See how it gives you the rotational pull? Lean into it and it's kind of a straight punch to the side.
Then
With a little curve. Yeah.
rear wampak lead in.
There you go.
Switch.
Not bad. Not bad. There you go.
Rear outside pin lead eye flick.
Lead back to the hook. Okay. Now, you want to work on that rotation. When you
lead inside, possibly
around,
around,
right?
right?
And you can lead back. It's what my rotation. When I'm standing naturally,
Same way.
boom, I rotate. See how I'm coiled up? And then when I come back to that hook, look at my rotation. Boom. See that? How my body, my lower body works. That's kind of what's hindering you a little bit. Is being able to coil and uncoil your rotation from your waist down. You start working on that, you'll get it done. You gotta go up. I promise. See? Rotate back though. See how much power it gives you just that alone? Being able to. Now, there you go. It is harder. Don't hurt your knuckles. It's so hard. Or spring your wrist. It's real hard. Straight. Or when you do that hook, now when you end, it's just the end. Pull it back. The way Sifu has been kind of showing us is like if you just hold it. You don't gotta get the hand in. Just hold it. He's showing us the then draw it back like that. Right? That's how I do it. You can do it short, but for the back of his hand, it's like good. Pull it back fast and fire it out like that. See what I'm doing? Like that. See, you pull it, right, just work on that part, pull it back, and pull it in, not, see how, from that point, straight. Yeah, no, not bad, like pulling the lever. Yeah. Yes, there you go.
I still rotate your foot, but just don't step. So you just turn on
there. You're gonna do it. Ready? Now I want to do it. And then with the footwork. Yeah. Good stuff. I hate for you to knock me out. It's really hard. Good job. All right. Lead back into the face, into the groin.
Right now you're doing a burning foot hook. You're stepping out.
Oh,
So don't step forward with the lead.
I just walk it down a little bit.
You don't cross.
Ouch.
Step up.
You feel like, not the tip part. That part is sensitive. Okay, so, but I want to get you guys more
Oh, shit.
in the mind frame of doing, especially
I went in there to get ink and then I got sidetracked.
with the ladies. I'm trying to like get y'all to be aggressive. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be a key tool for y'all because y'all are women and people who are bigger than y'all are trying to intimidate y'all or whatever. You know, so when you get in for these shots and you start throwing your body momentum forward and getting aggressive, you'll see that these moves are articulate themselves a little bit better. You know, instead of spinning to the side, trying to back the energy down, don't be afraid of me. I'm just a skinny black boy. Run up on me, you know what I mean? Get aggressive, be bigger. It's just a violent part. You know, get aggressive with it. Don't be afraid. I tell Nico all the time.
Yes.
Part of your job doing this is going to be to get this close to somebody and whoop their ass. Is it not true, Seafood?
Yeah.
So you got to get over that. It's a weird it is weird to get that close to somebody, but you know, if you gotta, at that particular point in time, if they call you out on you having to defend yourself, you should not have a problem with it. Do what you gotta do. So, come on with it. Back fist to the face, into the corner. Get in close. You stepping out to the side. Don't side step. I wouldn't touch it. Yeah. See how I'm in? Get in.
You didn't get it.
See? Yeah. Just make sure.
You wanna take her out where the air's a little fresher?
Okay.
Steve's probably gonna be laughing when he sees this. Back fist, hinge to the face, to the groin. Hey, she accidentally hit me to the groin.
There you go. Are you sure it was an accident? That's what I want.
That's what I'm thinking. She goes, shut up, Sherrod. Come on. Inside. Yeah. But wouldn't it be much easier? I guess you could perform in either direction, you know.
I also learned today that my forehead is huge.
What?
I learned today on the video that my forehead is huge.
It's not just you on the video.
Be on the inside of the leg. Or into that groin, right? See, it's easier. Right there in the target. Yeah, it's fun, yeah. There you go. You got it. Now, when you hit, when I hit, I don't try to come with these full samurai circles. You know, it's okay to learn that way. You know, but if you want to grab the movement, it's going to be a back fist to the face. And me, I drop straight down with a small, like that boom in. You know, it's almost a straight line when I do it from here to here, but it's still here. Just grab and making your movements like try that. See? Yeah. Inside. Just that's why I got the leg all the way out there this time. Hey. There you go. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. All right. Good job. Good job. Moving on. I'm so glad to be away from that. Thank you. Let's get in some of these back fist cross. Back fist cross, straight punch. Back fist cross, lead straight. Yes. And I want to see you start lunging in and getting in there. You know, your lunge and your hip rotation can enhance your back fist.
Yep.
You know, you lunging in and you rotate at the same time. Remember we were talking about coiling and uncoiling like a spring. So if you start getting in there and pull that body momentum into your shots, they will become more effective and more efficient. That's why I'm just trying to get you active with it. See, more dangerous. Yeah. Straight one. Lead straight. Yeah, whenever. Yeah.
You lost some weight, haven't you? You lost some weight, haven't you?
Yeah, I can't, when it's hot, I can't eat. I just eat my
I wish I had that.
fruit and, yeah. I tried to eat some chicken the other day, my stomach hurt so bad, I'm used to eating just fruit and salad. It's too hot.
I wish I had that.
Oh, thanks. Well, I used to be smaller than this anyway. I gained weight so much for that kid.
Now on that last hook, make sure you twist your body with it also. There you go, right there.
This one is a lead straight punch. Back fist cross. Straight, yeah, it's a straight. It says yeah, lead back fist cross.
Straight.
And straight punch.
Well, that's fine. You gotta use your hip doing that too.
Yep, you do gotta use that rotation.
There you go.
See how I'm breaking down how to pull that back to coil? Yeah. I'll just pull it straight from here, boom, like this, straight, straight. Yeah, yeah, straight to it. Yeah, because if you coil, you're ready to fire it from here. Thus for when you want to throw a punch, it's already here, so you don't have to go like this. It's already like that. Yeah, it's locked and loaded. Look at it like that. Woo, she looks like a fancy. Yes. Yes. Now, what I want you to do also is get out of the mind frame of always attacking at a 45-degree angle. I noticed that you're comfortable sidestepping and attacking, which is fine. That's fine, especially under those circumstances. Somebody attacking you forward, yeah, sidestep. Yeah, but for practical purposes, your training, start attacking you straight on. With
Have some
sidestep.
hip drill.
Straight on. See? There you go. Okay. It's the face. All right. This one's gonna be a little back this cross up. Yeah. Bad. Bad.
I just find it amazing how cameras
Like that.
just cannot handle purple. Like Sherrod's shirt is blue. The cameras can never handle the purple.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
it's like K-State. Watch K-State on TV.
And you've already got all the information.
It's like that. You can never see that purple.
I got the, see,
Yep. There's something about broadcast TV color. It just doesn't like it.
Drop back. Boom. Punch from there.
He doesn't have a problem with violet, but
See how your
that.
hand, the wrist is not straight.
Yeah, that's like-
There you go.
Thing and Sherrod's shirt's kind of faded.
Sherrod.
Now it's messing with me. Now his shirt's looking more blue than it.
Well, it does.
Yeah, but that looks really cool.
Good job. Good job. All right. Back to this crossover cut.
Don, did you want to cover your dues this week?
Okay.
What day is it today?
Yeah.
The 30th?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You start to listen. How you coil it, uncoil it, it all works together. Yeah.
Okay.
Sidestep.
What?
Yeah. Straightforward. Not bad, not bad, not bad. It's still not bad. But you have it in your mind that you want to keep sidestepping, or you want to get out the way and hit me. But I'm trying to get you to understand that you have to plow through me, bulldoze me. Don't get out of my way. No, intercept my way. Cut it off,
There you go.
right? Or just totally demolish. Yeah, demolish. You see how it makes you? It makes you, boom, boom, it makes you get up in there and have to do what you gotta do. There you go. Straight. There you go. Upcut. Not bad. Come more. Not bad. Looking pretty good. Okay. Is that now? This is going to be a lead palm hook. Let's isolate the hook. Do it a couple times. No. Palm hook. So you're going to be really. It's more of a boxer's hook. I mean, of course, you can use JKD shoulder down hook, but for the palm hook, when I do this boom boom, and I'm loaded right here, I would like to come around with a hook like that. Yeah, yeah. And that sounds solid. Yeah, not bad, not bad. All right, back to this cross palm. See? Look at you. Not bad. All right, back to the cross elbow. You already coiled up for it. See? You already coiled up. Okay, let's work on the elbow. No, you good, you good. No, you're good. Don't look at it like that. Look at stuff as it's half full and not half empty. You know what I'm saying? So you got all the body movements. All you have to do is zero in on your aim with your elbow by turning your thumb down, rotating your hips, allowing your hips to everything is like a whip, right? How can I explain this scientific property? I'll grab a napkin. Okay. Now, the process of energy that you're trying to achieve is, see, if I whip and how it whips out, everything makes the end of the napkin snap. Well, that's how you use the movements, right? Right. Everything is all about lining you up, putting you in place for the ultimate strike, right? To be able to burst with explosive energy instantaneously. And the easiest way of doing that is number one, by already after you strike, having your hands in position. Instead of pulling the back, I'm gonna hit you, that's actually late. You know what I mean? You're already in position, so you're coiled up. Your job is to learn how to let your wings sprout. You know what I mean? And that's the concept I'm trying to give you the run. You have the punches and everything. It's not going to be very complicated for you to achieve these next levels. But now you have to start understanding it and working on the scientific principles of what you're doing, and they'll help the moves ergonomically fit you a little bit better. So, with that being said, when you got this elbow, that's why I'm always telling you to start. That's why I always tell you to rotate this back foot, because all your power, all your rotation and mobility, I want to say at least 80% of it is based off of how well you can rotate your hips, how well you can spring off your back feet. The rest of your body will follow just like that now. Everything else will flow. But you have to be able to generate it from the ground in your rotation. Right.
You down to Bob?
Yep, sir.
You'll do
Way
it.
better.
60 seconds.
See that? Yeah. There you go. Now, follow through. Instead of hitting it, this is how you kind of look. You're going boom boom, and then you're going like that, right? You're not allowing for yourself to follow through like that. Give it a full swing, you know. That sounds very sexually grotesque. Give it a full swing, follow through with your shot. So you're going boom boom, and you have to use this look at the step to get in.
Okay. Done. She's ready. Here we go.
Oh, good.
60 seconds on the day.
Hey,
And
3, 2, 1, go.
Uh-oh.
Hands up, keep hands up. Come on, Nico, that's good, good.
Not bad.
Make sure to breathe.
What was that? He said your judo sucks. Kick his ass.
30 seconds.
Some elbows.
Building,
seconds.
fighting.
10, 9,
Don't fight.
8, 6,
5, 4,
3.
3, 2, 1. Look at me.
Wait, no, it's 5
minutes.
minutes. 5 minutes is forever, yes.
What was that, a minute?
1 minute.
Feel like talking.
Yeah. That's a slow one.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Chill. We're done with those. Now we're gonna get into abilities. Start on abilities, and then after we do your ones based on your abilities, we'll get you into the entering instructions. Get you in. Okay.
Yeah, 3 of you guys follow.
Good job, man. I had a very hard job this morning, Seafood. I had to rip out my whole toilet and replace it. The whole toilet. They said disgusting. It had to be done, man.
Especially in a trailer.
Hey, I don't have no septic tank. I am the septic tank.
You're on city water.
Did he just admit to being full of shit?
Yeah. It was gross.
What do you think?
Kicks still.
More kick stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Mr. Caesar.
Yes, sir. I'm
No,
playing.
no,
I'm
no.
just messing with you,
You
Steve.
can go down one if you want.
I'm sexual process. All right. I don't
That's not what I hear.
Oh, that's fucked up. Okay.
Hey, you said it.
Okay. Bad. What I'm seeing you doing, you see that? Do it again. There you go.
Good job, Nico.
You have to react fast and aggressive enough.
Here's the next step you
in
know.
your way, right?
Yes.
But what I'm noticing is when you're doing it, when you're doing it, your head's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not being aggressive,
Diagonal upward.
right? And you're not working on your timing because you're bumping like that and you're catching yourself up. Now,
Get all 6
the
elbows.
reason why I said I don't think that's like totally bad
Rear thrust.
because it might come a time where you might have to.
With your rear
You know
arm.
what I mean?
Okay, so the back arm.
So you've got
Right? It makes sense.
here,
But
here.
a basic rear end here is here. Just like that.
Oh, I
And
love
when you do
those.
it so fast,
Cross.
so you got to use it.
No signal.
Ah. Give me no signal.
Right? There you go.
So front, boom, back.
And get in your fighter.
And then,
A good ready stand.
No, it's still going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you go cross, back,
This first.
diagonal
This is
down,
the way for that.
diagonal up,
Yeah.
vertical down.
Hard.
okay.
So you got to do it as here. Like a
Lead
hook,
and rear.
right? Like a hook.
Okay.
Yep.
And then all these kickers done.
See that?
So, yeah, I'm going to be adding some punches and stuff that we don't normally do. Okay.
Not too much, a little bit.
All those probably go.
But now, it takes it straight.
Lead leg straps.
Are you broke?
All the leg straps. Those are-
Those are the knees. I don't know.
Straight.
I figured out that.
Push.
Get
Good.
for them.
You do it smoothly?
Collapse brake hold.
I just thought of
I had
something.
a Taekwondo guy trying him out. Go get again. We couldn't figure him out for a while.
It's,
I'd take a look at them again.
so
Pretty fun.
you have the other set,
Yeah.
basically,
Where
it
you can
goes
see it and build it.
snap, and then rear snap, and then you gotta be moving your head as you
Shove it
go.
up,
So snap,
shove it up.
snap,
Get back to the
Side.
right arm stance, right
side, and then
down, right.
back kick, back kick, like that.
Yeah, you shove it up. Get
Well,
back.
there's more to it than that.
Well, that's the first comment. Oh, yeah, then you gotta switch 180 degrees to the left stance.
It says to do that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
says to do
So,
that.
so it's forward and then left and then right and then back to your beginning.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, yeah, all those.
Not bad, not bad, not bad.
But,
Okay,
right now.
rear warm part.
One of those rare days when it's cooler outside, isn't it?
Rear warm part.
What?
This is
It's a little stuffy up here. I've got the fans on, but still.
Maybe
Well, the air conditioner fans only.
And then three brake holes, three grab
Rear warm part, build together.
I was just thinking of something that would be useful. We could find maybe just, I'm not, there's probably an app, a joke app or something like that that will do this. But what would be the point is something that makes a noise. And so then what it can be is, in order to really help somebody train the way to telegraph, you have somebody watching and they just have to move their finger to tap something that makes a noise. Like
Well, and that's why we were
like a
doing,
beeper or something like
standing
that.
behind you, we used to do the clackers.
No, I meant they make a noise if they see it. And the whole point is to beat the person who's just gotta move their finger. So if they see it, then they go beep, and so if it beeps before they touch their head, then, so it's just a way for you to say, no, they saw that.
So,
Just a, what do they call that?
I could guess, I think.
Cognitive feedback or something.
My arms are.
Now, as far as this, I'm not gonna reproduce this for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reproduce one
You
for the
leave
school,
that
and
right
I'm
there.
gonna email it,
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Dropbox it or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Dropbox would be easy.
We did that for, Allison, when she lost hers.
Yeah. So like from now on, you're not gonna print it out.
I'm not gonna do the whole thing whenever I rewrite it.
Oh, okay, yeah,
I'll do one for the school,
right.
So you keep bumping into it.
but I'll email it to everybody else.
Yeah.
They can download it, put it on their phone,
So
whatever.
you bumped into it
Yeah.
again. If you just-
This is the electronic age.
long.
Yeah.
You might, my arms are so long, it might be better for you to try to learn how to work with the pen. You know, different body styles and body types are gonna require different, modifications of the angles in order to be able to work. Somebody tall and skinny like me,
So
you might have
when I
to,
lose my shoulder naturally,
You know,
it's
somebody
not-
short, you
I
might
just
have
like
to,
reach out and do that.
you know,
That's not good.
it's on you to determine that.
So, leave with your,
Yeah.
with your hand.
There you go.
Still working, still.
Okay, let's work on the shoulders down.
Keep the elbow down by your side. Not in or anything like that.
See that? Aggressive.
I'm doing it
There you
slowly
go.
first just to try to retrain another thing.
There you go.
So,
See?
when
Now
I,
you can
when
use
I
that.
said
You
in the
gotta get
past
yourself
that
away before you
even
do
I'm
that.
still learning,
It's only gonna be
it's
about
true,
a
every time
fraction of
that
a
I have an issue, I've gotta learn to get over it.
second.
Yeah.
Right.
And, moving around
See how it's trying to
two
work
hundred
together?
sixty pounds ain't easy on bad knees.
If I was to do it, it'd be like this.
Does it help to use the bicep as the first thing that moves?
There you go.
I'm down here.
I'm feeling the tricep pushing out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I said, use the two
It's
hands to
complicated.
do something.
It's just the middle part that's kind of big.
But you have to let
because
yourself have it where you can't do that.
Left side kick, so you do the left side kick, and then it says turn 90 degrees into a natural stance.
All right, you know,
Left side kick to knee or leg, left side kick to midsection,
lead pop,
and then right side kick to knee or leg, midsection,
lead pop.
turn 90 degrees into right JKD stance,
Now,
the front, the back, and then 180 degrees to the left, right front, right back,
like it.
and then set your foot up into a right, left front. Good.
Yeah, it's difficult to follow the movement.
Yeah. Extended. See, you're not working in your full extension range.
Be smart.
You caught up, you're choked up, and they fall like this.
So go through the stuff that she doesn't know.
Right. How it is, yeah.
She did all the 25s yet,
Yeah, that's stuff.
so she needs to start on the,
Works easier.
She doesn't have advanced yet.
That's all I'm doing.
That's the next one.
See, no. You're doing it.
90 degrees to the left. Is that where we gave it?
See that? See that? You're
I
going.
just gotta figure it out. Because,
No, no.
You said there was a part that was vague. I was trying to.
yeah, in the middle, but I kind of figured it out. So,
See that? What did I do there?
so again, right lead JKD.
if you guys want to,
Yeah.
we can work on that on Saturdays
Yeah,
during the seafood time.
There you go.
I can do one thing.
Forward is.
I'm kind of locked into that, working on the telegraph removal.
Yeah.
I wanna advance that.
That's what I want.
I was telling you, we were working
When
on
you're
that.
doing it right,
this morning, so.
that's why I went and got.
Yeah, last Saturday, we were all working on big gigantic kids. This week,
Good job.
oh,
When you're doing it right, that happens.
What kind of gigantic
Part of learning.
kids?
All of them.
I done been playing
all those hot
everybody
cakes
in
and
here.
spin cakes.
Oh, yeah, I was just,
I'm scared of you. You know, I'm scared of her to kick.
break, break,
quick break. You guys want a break? Get a drink?
He doesn't have a break.
I'm scared of y'all. Y'all are dangerous.
That's what I was thinking when we were at her job. I was like, that 12 people in here, you don't even know.
Lead with your hand. You said the first thing I feel when I'm concentrating on feeling your thing is my tricep. Push it down. Bicep is not doing anything, it's relaxed.
I just meant the bicep is what makes it rise up in a position.
Tricep is.
If it's down here, going to the tricep moves, it would.
Don't want no spam. Don't like spam.
gotta quit giving your phone number out.
Yeah.
I mean, the cell phone company's got to quit selling it to people.
Yeah.
I don't get, phone calls. I don't get any spam. I haven't for years.
You killed them all.
I guess so.
You answered the phone and said, call this number again, I'll kill you. They'll put you on the blacklist.
All I did was, you just don't acknowledge the call, you just make them sit there for all the ringing, and then they'll hang up on the phone, obviously. Just don't bother, just acknowledge it, and you hang up, or you answer and hang up, they know, hey, there's a real number, we're gonna keep calling this number.
Well, but, you know, I get local calls. and
Yeah, that's the thing is the new trick
Running a
is,
small business, so I gotta answer those.
yeah, that's the problem is that they'll say that they've got a new trick which falsely displays their location as near you. And
Yeah,
then-
yeah, it says Wichita, Kansas
Yeah.
now,
And then they're from India. And it's like, well,
they use NordVPN.
Usually whenever I answer Fairtrade Self-Defense Center, they're usually just giving shit.
because they think it's a business and I got I know, I'm just saying like they envision it's not a personal cell phone. So you're maybe a receptionist or something. So it's like the receptionist can't buy anything.
Well, when, I just can't imagine like, whenever,
Somebody in Illinois, Michigan, won $1 billion last night.
I wasn't the lucky one.
Lucky them.
Somebody won a Mega Millions, billion, with a B.
1.2. They said if you take the payout, it goes down to 730.
730 million.
That's still,
Who the hell's gonna turn that in?
Exactly.
Yeah, I would take it, and then was what you do is you take it and then immediately write a check to the IRS for however much it is, which is about half.
Well,
And
and we decided actually some time ago, we probably need to switch our thoughts on that because we're getting older. To take that annuity, 30 years, but you can also, at least in Kansas, you can also will that.
Yeah.
To, and so I'm like,
The annuity.
well, David's gonna be rich.
Well, it's been researched that if you do win a lump sum, if you do win money like that, don't take payments, because the payments with inflation and everything, it's garbage. What you need to do is take a lump sum, that 700 million, and then you just put it in a investments, and you make a lot more money.
Well, it depends, I mean, you're gonna have to have an investment firm do that for you.
Yeah.
Well, you have the
But
money
you can
for
afford it now.
Yeah, you say, this is
Well, yeah,
my,
if you went into a financial advisor's office and said, "Hi, I have $740 million for you to play with. Oh, I am now your biggest client."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make me $1 billion out of it.
Right.
You could say,
I need
turn
$2
this
billion.
$5 million into $100 million.
Well, and what's the main thing that my dad always told me is if you just get $1 million and properly invest it, it will regularly give you approximately $40,000 in return every year.
But
So
that's,
you can-
but that's the thing, the caveat is,
Roughly.
but no, to do it responsibly, to buy the.
Right, that's
get
the
the
thing,
right
you go to a
stock.
financial advisor, it's the right, probably the right mutual funds and stuff.
That's all, it's just,
Other people are taking care of which
it's
stuff.
just tricky as hell,
Well, yeah, you don't do that yourself.
I remember, this isn't political at all, but everyone made fun of Trump because he said, my dad gave me a small loan of $1 million to start off.
I honestly don't know, but I remember when I
That's
said
crazy,
do that.
though. Yeah, I put some money into the Mega Millions with my coworkers. So we didn't win them.
I had,
If he had
I
money,
had
it
some
would go.
scratchers, I had some scratcher
remember when I
winners,
couldn't do it.
$26. I said, pay for this little bottle of vodka and put the rest on Mega Millions.
Do you
I
have
was-
it in here?
I would get us.
I would always wonder, too, if I got the winning ticket, I'd be very anxious as to how it would proceed.
Oh, yes.
Because, if
People
I,
find out.
well, it's like if I go to the gas station
Right.
and say, I need to turn this in, and
You
somebody,
can't do that.
you can't.
You gotta go to Topeka,
You call someone?
you gotta go to Topeka after $600.
Well-
No gas station has that kind of money.
Well,
It,
correct,
it
but it's
says,
like, I
it
would
says
know.
on the ticket,
What-
anything over $598, you have to.
$600, you gotta go to Topeka.
I've been challenging myself to get the
Actually, Kansas is
You don't have
one
to.
of 2 states that you don't have to.
You don't have to tell who you are. You don't have to get that picture.
Yeah.
So I'm on the fence about that. Would I like my moment in the sun? Sure.
What for?
No.
But-
People-
But do I want everybody in the state to know I've got $1 billion now?
And also, do you want, and also, do you want everyone now coming to you like you're a bank?
Right.
It's like, I think the main thing is disappear. It's like, actually not disappear, don't act like anything's different.
Well,
That's what I've always
but
said,
the
it's like,
thing
just,
is, I would want to have a, nice gigantic school and
Yeah.
all this stuff,
Yeah.
but you can't treat it like that's now your regular income. Because
Well,
you
that kind of money you can.
well, because you'd be surprised how quick you can spend that if you just start spending money.
A million, yeah, I can see that, 5 million, yeah, still be careful. $1 billion, I think you can go on.
Right, if
spree.
you bought a $20 million house, and now you have to pay property taxes on the $20 million house.
That's still
Well, that's
0.02% of $1 billion, it's still a penny out of $100.
And then you buy the yacht and the restaurant
Can you
and the
imagine
gas station.
what you could do. You could kind of realize Bruce's dream with martial arts is martial arts. So like, if you had that much money, you could really globalize JKD.
But afterwards, well, possibly, Bruce didn't really do it, and he was in there.
Yeah.
After he got famous, he hated it. He in that documentary we watched, he says, I feel like a monkey in a cage. I can't go out, we can't do anything as a family.
Yeah.
So fame is
Well,
costly.
Yes, I've never.
Well, I didn't mean like the fame aspect, but like mobilizing JKD. You wanted to mobilize, you wanted to open schools and everything.
At one time he did, at one time he did. He had problems with people saying that he himself only published one book, and that's that Kung Fu book, right? He did not publish the Bruce Lee fighting movies. Linda published that after he died. He did not publish the Dao. Linda published that after he died. It was just a collection of notes, the Dao was. They republished it a few years ago in a better way. They put it together better. But Bruce only published that one small little yellow Kung Fu book. Yeah, Chinese Kung Fu. But he decided before, well, yes, when he was in Seattle, he wanted to open up a chain of go-to schools. He decided this because he couldn't guarantee the quality. You know, once you start having somebody run this school and somebody run this school and somebody run this school, and then they're appointing people to run it whenever they're not there, the quality does go down.
Well, I mean, and then you get people like,
That's why I'm always out here.
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I agree.
Bill puts his info in there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
And that's what you're supposed to do on a personal level.
yeah, but
But when you're teaching, you gotta pull that out and not teach that stuff.
And if were he to come in and visit someplace and then go pull the instructor aside and say, what the hell are you teaching? That breaks morale pretty quick.
Right.
So,
You know, you found that out when you went to the Sound Academy or teaching boxing. For the,
I didn't go to the
Priscilla.
Innocent Academy because they wanted to make me spend $100 before I can put a foot on the floor.
the Priscilla stuff. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
when you went to the boutique school, they weren't teaching.
No, they were mostly, it was a boxing school.
Yeah.
It was mostly, they had a boxing timer and they were just doing boxing drills.
And that may have been that base.
Yeah.
You know.
It was just, well, and it was a different style than I was used to because we were, you and I had always taught, we had always been like trained to explode and hit as hard as you can for that. And so it's like, my fitness was not ready for trying to do that. I thought it would be a short little drill. It's like, no, we did boxing drills for an hour. And so then I got passed out at one point because I was always going 100%.
Right.
I wasn't just going to things. I was trying to destroy that thing every time. So, yeah. And yeah, there was just one moment where he did something and it was a flash of something that I recognized. But mostly it was just boxing stuff. They didn't work on any deflections or kicking, or they did some kicks, but they were strange. You know, it was sort of like, what it reminded me of is like, if you had learned Spanish and now you got to go to Portugal. And so it's like, those two languages are very similar, but just a little bit weird. Like Portuguese looks like Spanish spelled funny, and it's pronounced oddly. And so it's like, comparatively. So it's sort of like, it's like, I see it sometimes, but it's very different. Yeah.
Well, and that's why a lot of these JKD camps have different people from different quarters of JKD show up and do seminars.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing with the Bastillo's school was that you could tell their focus wasn't on JKD anymore.
Right.
It was, they were teaching 9 different martial arts, one of which was JKD. They were teaching Savate and MMA and wrestling and judo, and it was just everything. And so it's like, so Jeet Kune Do is from 2 to 3:30.
Well,
and then,
you're right.
And then the judo class is after that. So it was sort of like,
Well, it sounds to me like they were actually breaking apart JKD and teaching individual methods that went into JKD.
right.
Without pulling it all together.
But you would only be able to pull that off if you could go and train all day long.
You know, and
Yeah.
they're kind of doing that with the Wing Chun.
Yeah.
You know, we're
But
learning.
Wing Chun wasn't on the list.
We're,
It was kind of weird.
that's doing Wing Chun.
Yeah.
He's a karate guy.
Yeah. Then he got it.
Dan's still alive.
Who?
Dan.
Oh, no, I was talking about Richard.
Oh,
Because what happened within a Santos group is I called and ask about, just showing up and seeing what they do.
Yeah,
And
but
she
still over the
said,
boxing.
right, so yeah, Dan said that whoever the secretary was, said that I'd have to buy their uniform in order to set foot on the floor. And on top of that, I'd have to pay a fee in order to do like a sabbatical thing, like a 1-day sabbatical. And it's like, no, I'm not doing that. It's like, can't I just come by and see how you guys do stuff? I'm just coming into town for a little bit, you guys. Yeah. But they have a whole thing where it's like, if you want to stay there for a week, then you pay us $1,200 and then you train all day long, but you have to buy the uniform and all that stuff.
Bill's got that. He's got a program to
Yeah, but like if the inverse had happened, you wouldn't charge anybody.
probably.
Somebody from the Oakland school said, "Hey, I've heard of you guys and I want to come see you."
But if a stranger with money in his pocket would say, I want to take classes from you for a week, what does it cost me? And it's
Right.
$3,000.
Right. Yeah.
Got me for 8 hours a day for a week.
Yeah, but just to say, it's like I'm a Jeet Kune Do relative essentially, and I want to come see you
Jockey
guys.
didn't charge me.
Yeah.
For the,
Yeah.
Abe and Bill, they were very, very helpful. They
Yeah.
brought me out on the floor. We did some stuff.
Yeah, people at the Petite school seemed a little confused as to where I came from. They seemed to think I was this mysterious private student of France.
Oh. And you had never
Jerry Petite's wife.
Right, you never met Fran, right?
No, I didn't. But she was just the hookup basically. But
Yeah. And I set that up for you.
He's through Fran, and I was like, I explained twice, and they kept saying it. It's like, okay, whatever. It's like I'm the mysterious Fran student. Yeah. And then they're trying to understand why I was doing things so differently. It's like, what? You bow funny. Yeah. They were. Oh, it was a little bit more flowery.
Did they do the hand flipping?
Yeah. And
Make it flowery.
well, yeah, it's a little bit more. And then like I did it my way, and he said, "Oh, you do it the old way." Yeah, it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Who's he?
Eric, I think he's one of Jerry's.
Oh, yeah.
students.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just training out in the park.
Yep.
Yeah.
He doesn't, he has a school or they?
Well, he did before he died.
But they were just out in the park. I guess they don't have it anymore. They said they were trying very hard to try to buy where the original LA school building was, but the guy who owns it hates martial arts.
Oh, no, that's the Oakland school. That's
Maybe.
That's the one in Oakland.
Oh, okay.
Before they moved to James's garage.
The one.
Yeah, it's the Oakland
I
school.
think they said there's a doctor next door, and he doesn't want any noise
The owner uses it for storage.
Yeah.
And he's not a big Bruce Lee fan. He knows who he is. They train here, but no, it's not his focus.
Well, I don't know.
And it's a real shitty part of town too.
Right.
There's,
I don't know if
homeless
that's what he
folks.
was talking about because what he was talking about was like there was in LA there's a building in Los Angeles with a dentist or a doctor next door who is adamant that he didn't want anything next. He owned that building and he didn't want anything next to his business that would make noise.
But in LA, they trained in Bruce's backyard. They didn't have a building.
Okay.
It was just in Bruce's backyard.
I think it said something about like there's a statue out front, even or something. I don't know.
But Seattle.
There's not one in Seattle, although there should be.
I'm like wondering if like Bruce or somebody didn't kick those guys' asses.
No, this is way after.
You know.
This is the dentist.
I
In fact, they said I don't want anything violent next door.
Well, there are people like
My thought is if you're a dentist, it's like more business for you. We knock our own teeth out and then come next door.
So,
There you go.
so this is the question on my Black Sash test. The difference between combatives and original JKD.
So, yes, that combative thing is going to go away. That's what Professor Bill calls it.
Okay.
We do JKD.
Good.
I am trained in both the original and the concepts. Dill calls us combatives.
He calls the concept combative.
No. Anybody that doesn't do exactly what Dill says does combatives.
Alright.
If you put Aki Jiu-Jitsu or Kempo Karate into your JKD combatives.
Got
But since I do Oakland and LA, we're combatives. I don't do
What
exactly
concept?
combatives.
Combative.
LA is concepts.
In Oakland.
Oakland is original.
The
Original.
Los
And
Angeles
you do
philosophy,
both.
the Los Angeles philosophy, if you boil it down completely, would be Jeet Kune Do is a philosophy which can be applied to any martial art, and that's what we're going to do today.
And that's true.
Yes, but what they're saying is like how their method is more like, okay, so today we are going to do jujitsu, and we're going to apply Jeet Kune Do principles to jujitsu and see how that works. And so yeah, it's different from us where we don't segment them and then just do the Jeet Kune Do concepts applied over the top. We instead look at different things if we want and then steal little pieces and then mix it together and blend.
So yeah, the combatives part of our style name is going to go away. It's just going to be.
What Professor Dill is talking about is, as far as the difference, is that he says what he claims, what he is teaching is exactly what James and Bruce were teaching, and so he wants it to be a time capsule. It's like he says, it doesn't change. This is Jeet Kune Do original,
He
and
would
then
probably
anything
not
else.
like me for asking him this, but I would want to know if he had any fucking proof. That this is the exact way
No, of course not.
of the intersecting fit.
Of course he does. What he has is some notebooks that he himself took the notes.
Yeah.
Didn't he say that or before James M. Lee died, James M. Lee said he's an instructor, right? And he sent him materials.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, but Dill took it in the wrong direction. James told him that he could teach Jeet Kune Do to a few people, a small group, not ever to be put out in this gigantic organization.
But Linda gave him that information.
Linda gave him that.
James also sent him like a 1-year training curriculum.
18
months, yeah. Just like you could get to be done in 18 months.
18 to 24 month training.
Yeah,
So-
you can teach it to in small groups.
Right.
That's basically what it said.
I don't contradict or don't want to contradict anything about the professor, but his way of doing things is not the Jeet Kune Do way. This is a ever evolving art.
Now, I'm not against what Dill does.
No, I'm not.
It
I'm
does-
not.
it-
But I'm saying that this is the only way contradicts everything.
But as Michael says, he wants to keep it as a time capsule, as what he believes he learned in Oakland, right? He wants to keep that. Now, when he dies, it's going to fragment out anyway.
Because each of his people does it differently, as they should.
Right.
But they don't think they are. That's what's
Yeah. Bill and Drew are the driving forces of the Tahlequah school. And Bill is an 8th degree in Kempo and a 4th degree in JKD.
I have nothing negative to say. I'm just
Drew
like,
is, I think, a 1st degree in Kempo and a 1st degree in JKD. They're the JKD driving force in Tahlequah. It's going to be probably going to be Drew's school whenever these old guys got out. Because Drew's big business.
That was absolutely hilarious after he got his black sash. We went to a camp, he had just gotten his black sash the day before, and he decided that he knew everything. He was telling 2nd degrees what to do. It was like,
that's funny.
it's like in that environment where he purposefully creates a system of hierarchy, it's like you should know better than to tell me, who's a third degree, anything. It's like, don't come over and correct my footwork. It's like you.
You know, like as far as some of the movements that the professor has instituted into the JKD concepts and principles, I have never seen Bruce Lee do any writing.
Well, no.
I mean, and I'm not trying to say it in a criticizing manner. I'm just saying, I'm still stuck on myth busting right now because I understood. I'm very intelligent and good at watching things and seeing things, and I understood that coming to your school, seeking Joe's Kung, I was actually getting real martial arts training versus real training versus active. Wing Chun and traditional movement and the scientific ways of doing things versus learning American style Kempo instituted with the concepts of JKD.
Again, you gotta give credit where credit's due. Neil was at that school. He was at the Bruce Lee school. He was taught by James Lee. There's pictures.
Right.
There's a history. He did learn JKD for about a year. Okay? You've done JKD at this point in your career longer than he did at this point in his career. You've done real JKD for 3 years. He did it for about a year, and then he started cooking his Kempo.
That's what I'm saying.
So most of y'all coming to me without any prior training or very little prior training. You're luckier, smarter than those. It took forever to get Michael out of some bad habits. That Taekwondo insisted that he did. It took forever to get him out of some bad habits. And last week we were institutionalizing some of those old bad habits. We were making sure that we did the high things and stuff. I'm not saying that things are bad. I'm saying you got to decide whether or not you can use it.
What's bad is
backing up like that.
That's why I look at myself.
And whenever I'm playing 7 days, I play that game like I fight. I'm always on the offensive.
Yeah.
And pushing. Sometimes I get overwhelmed with, 15 zombies and they eat me. It's going to happen.
7 days to die.
I love it.
Really? That's a good game.
It is. I love it.
It's actually pretty realistic.
When the game's down,
They all look realistic.
I didn't know you had a.
I'm saying that the type of training you have given us in this school is actually reinstituted more kung fu in behind JKD.
Well, what I intend to do is teach the original JKD. Keep that. I'm going to keep a lot of this in my curriculum, right? I want to keep that methodology. As you guys get better, like Sasha, that's when you guys get to explore shit that you can't even think about right now. That's why it's important that you show up on Saturdays.
Michael was surprised today that he's getting a teaching moment. So.
it was the first time I've had a one-on-one lesson in 7 years.
He's been doing JKD for 10 years. He did Taekwondo for 8 years. He's coming up on 20 years in the martial arts. That's respectful.
Yeah,
But he learned something today.
That's actually next year.
What did you learn?
I'm working on it right now.
Non-intelligent.
Well,
Non-intelligent.
he's trying to restructure his punch, so it's difficult for me to explain to see someone doing that.
I see.
Everybody has their own little
Sweet.
telegraph problem. Am I doing it better? I don't know.
That's what you got to say.
Well, because since I didn't know I was doing it in the first place, I don't know when I'm doing it right either.
What we covered today is efficiency. Being more efficient. I am an old guy. I'm 64 years old. I'm beat up. I'm battered. My joints hurt all the damn time. And I'm still faster than these guys who are athletic and young and stronger than I am. But I can still hit them before they hit me.
I think you're just more spontaneous.
I think you're more intimidating.
Whatever the reason. Whatever the reason.
But it still wins the fight, is what matters.
We worked on it
The
for a long
question that I
time,
have
too.
is like, you talked about how we should behave in sparring, and like, there's always on the attack. How do we do that while also providing the other person the opportunity to learn something?
Well, that is taking place in those classes.
Right, but I like say it's like, so it's Miko's turn to spar for the first time. I shouldn't bowl her over.
No, you shouldn't.
Right,
Oh.
so
No, you shouldn't.
it's
Only
so-
when you're up against someone equal to you, that you should go all out.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just bowling over someone.
Right. So I'm saying it's a difficult balance to make sure that you're practicing correctly with who you're practicing with.
Okay, come here, Miko. So I'm gonna give you a real quick lesson on sparring. Okay. Fighting stance. Come get me. No. So you get hit. Okay. Now that's bowling your over.
Yeah.
So otherwise, I'd go, come get me. Okay, that wasn't bad, but why are you freezing? You turn these into teachable moments.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let me get it. Okay. Come on. Get me, come on. Hook! Hook! Shimmy! Shimmy! Shimmy!
You know all the damn dirty secrets you could ever know. I think he like took a notebook and got all the dirty secrets.
So, you don't wanna,
It's gonna be set.
Right.
You don't wanna just overwhelm.
Right. And then
No, he ain't. I'm getting the hell out of his way.
you know, they can have some confidence.
One thing
And
you
then,
can't do is catch me from here to there.
I can't hit you.
but what you do is, okay, not bad, not bad, not bad.
You get
Don't be doing that face though, you know?
right.
Still don't let them pummel you,
Right.
right? Come on, come on. Not bad, not bad.
Because one of the things that you can run into is like it's
But-
like for
Again, it's individual, I'm gonna treat her different, I'm gonna treat him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna go out all out on Andrew, he's damaged.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna attack that damage, like, I wouldn't fight, but not a sparring match.
Yeah.
Gonna fight, sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
That knee's going out.
Yeah.
it's just how to because like sometimes it's like I have found it like I had it with Anthony where it's like I was being more I was not going to bowl him over as his first one and then you get clocked.
Right.
Because
Because you got bad defense.
well but so because you also don't want to have your defense be so good that they never touch you.
But watch this. So we're sparring again, and I'm gonna be throwing some stuff at you. Right? Now you're gonna notice something big. Going, and Michael, you guys are gonna notice something completely different than what I taught you today. Okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Right here, that one.
I did. I kind of blocked it.
Okay. So what I told him today was, that's how you fight.
Oh, yeah.
You don't do this. Even though these are coming at you big and hard, if you didn't block it, you're gonna pop. But I'm giving you enough to see.
So you're putting enough momentum,
Right.
so you have to block it, but
Right.
not knocking me out.
So if I want to fight you, I go. Now, I had to step back because I noticed I was a little close to you.
I was gonna fight you this out comes
Right.
out.
Yeah, and that's it with the fight.
Yeah. You can't do front fight.
Right.
I think the reason the movement on those punches is so obvious is because the movement comes from the body first rather than the
Right,
knee.
right. I was throwing these big.
Yeah.
Right. And they look aggressive, and that's intimidating to a lot of people, you know. You know,
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's how you feel. Especially when
Yeah.
you're doing it.
in a fight, I'm gonna poof.
I'd be a lot more.
Missed a good class today, sure.
I'd be a lot more intimidated by a guy that can just poker face real quick like that.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't know that until you've been hit. You're like, the hell?
Well,
I also learned that my stance is wrong. Thing that I'm is causing the leaning.
So,
Was that is that my balance was on the front foot too much.
right. You got it?
Yes.
I've talked about this all day. Keep your head between
You just come back from working this early, but you
I think I
sleep
do the same thing
class.
that you do. I think I'm.
Yeah.
And I think when I'm trying to go full, it's
Right.
fine. When I notice I go too far, I'm getting back, I think it's, I'm also.
You actually work this
I think I'm
morning?
too far in this restriction.
You're out partying.
You gotta move your feet first.
But what I was finding too is it's.
Did you lose your
I
double time Saturdays? Because of these were on Thursdays?
Hip position is more important.
I haven't worked this overtime in about 6 months.
So if I
Oh,
go
really?
more, we kind of moved it.
But don't set your butt.
Oh.
You still want to maintain that.
Come train on
Yes,
Saturdays.
but
Some
you
of
should
them I'll
be
miss, you know, but work.
like this.
I'm not staying late.
But you also shouldn't be-
Thursdays.
It shouldn't be leaning back either.
I
But
had to come train.
I'm just saying it shouldn't
They
be an
respect
arch
it, though.
back.
A lot of people.
One of the big
who've
things
been
that I'm
up
not
here,
seeing any of you guys
Well,
do
no,
is
it's
tuck your
around.
chin. This is a challenge.
Okay.
A little simple motion. I want to knock her off now.
Okay.
You know, so you're in a fight. Tuck that chin. If he comes around with this big old left haymaker, it's gonna hit my shoulder. It's gonna roll. Tuck your chin. You've got it out here like, boom.
Okay,
Knockout.
Right.
yeah.
Whack.
Yeah.
And with your head between your feet, you don't have to shift your weight.
Yeah.
To kick.
That's actually one thing I did fight, because my brothers and I, we would fight all the time when we were younger. My sister too, we would fight all the time. And when I was fighting them, you'd put your shoulder up like that, get hit in the shoulder. And
I trained one of my older brothers is a professional boxer, so I learned that pretty early.
yeah, I got two uncles on my dad's side that were Golden Glove boxers, so they're pretty good.
All right, let's get back to it. You got about 20 minutes. Well, you got about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
See you stretch.
Feel my age.
Okay, so you're feeling great. Hey, it's raining again.
Yeah, it's been raining for about 5 minutes.
Oh,
The one thing I did learn taking a little chemical is the art of rotation.
Yeah.
You know, like you know.
yeah, but they really
Like, yeah, but I'm talking about like rotation on strikes and movements. It helped me understand how to like torque. You know how to torque.
well. When you're doing a motion like this, but stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
What am I gonna
Grappling
do?
techniques.
What am I
So,
aiming at?
grappling techniques.
Whenever you do a motion like this,
Yeah. What am I
Anything
trying to do?
which controls
my hand, my
what
arm.
the opponent is doing.
I mean, that's the
Because I
goal.
never-
Yes.
same for the-
The grappling.
But like,
Grappling
that's work.
technique.
See food right
Rather
there.
just start here,
See that?
going to attack, and then
Like,
do
kind
a
of like,
grappling.
yeah, like a working motion. Being able to rotate.
Grappling is defined
What's
as
that called?
anything where
That's all it is.
make
That's all it
your
really
arm or
is.
your body go somewhere that you didn't intend.
It helped me.
Torque
learn.
is
Trapping is its own category, it's like a subcategory of grappling. So just
I ain't got the back for it.
I got you. All it is just being applied it.
this is grappling.
A harmonious spring. Yeah, that's what it is. That's
So
what
it's
it
a
is.
grab or a push, things like that. But it's usually,
Okay.
it's got a hook in there.
I got you now.
So
Just
you've
that.
got arm bar,
Yeah.
you've got
It's a push.
fists, any of those things.
Okay. There's many different ways to judge. All it is a harmonious spring.
This one's very easy also.
Push is a spring.
Arm bar,
Oh,
what
man.
you do is you have to step,
Okay. Got you. Got you.
and then
I got you.
the secret is the arm bar.
Well,
has-
that takes that away from your phone. They stole
The
that idea.
thing that really just rubbed my ass up, come out.
We'll feel how much more
That is right,
pressure I have to put in that to make you go somewhere.
right.
Hold up, backing up.
If there's a pole out of a sword, all I gotta do is keep chasing you, you kill yourself.
And JKD,
Was,
Try!
yeah.
Do it!
But what I do is I go under those.
to get to me, he's got to step to me, right? So,
Right.
I'm going to cut off this timing.
This.
He knows he's got to make 2 steps to get
Then
to me.
it comes out as it's straight, so then I put the pressure this way. By
So I'm gonna
slicing
screw
this
his brain
way,
a
it
little bit.
also, keep, like, this.
If give me
usually
on
the
my
nerve
way in,
one
good,
goes
good.
to the electrical pattern, goes this way.
Oh.
So now we're actually slicing across the cord. So it makes it harder.
That was your best spot? The
Yeah.
stomach was open.
And, got it. Yeah, what makes good. What happened?
Oh.
Try it now.
Oh, that was a rib shot.
Try it with that
Ow.
right edge. On that.
It was over that hard.
See how much
Really?
easier that is?
Or am I just sticking up there?
That was a good shot.
Go across and pop it.
So, how did I manage that? Because you're thinking about your head.
I was thinking about my
And now,
head.
this is where we use that big footwork.
You don't want to get hit with one of those.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
if
even
you're
just
like
like
this,
a small demonstration because the type of pain that
a
it
grapple
inflicts
technique is for
is
me to
different.
disrupt
It
your
gets
center.
in a muscle.
So if you try to, so
You know,
right here,
something
this is
that
not a
you
good
like,
angle,
all right.
because
No, it's not like that. You can hit with any of these different shots. And with 50% of the pressure, it fucking hurts like hell. It hurts like fucking, it
you have to
hurts.
align
It's an
your
internal
hips to
pain
that, just
when
like,
you get hit.
just
Now,
like,
imagine if I spear hand.
so like right now, I'll bring you around and hit you on your face. So that's
You're dancing around.
And I'm that close.
You can, I dig in and grab one of my ribs. If you
You're
really
the
want
center
to,
of the merry-go-round.
you can dig right in and grab my rib. Ouch. That shit hurt like hell.
So, you're concentrating on your face, and stomach pressure.
What do you mean by that?
So, what my target would be now is straight, because all of this.
Yeah.
That's the open window.
Elbow, same spot.
Okay.
Right.
If I wanted to open up something, I would throw something slow.
It may be.
Swing this one back.
Oh, wait.
And pull it off with,
Okay, so.
Progressive induction.
yeah, let it more push down.
If I wanted to straighten it out,
I'm doing this.
back this,
Wait where you want me to.
real easy.
Okay, so.
Now, did you see him sidestep me? Not at all. Not at all. That's what I keep trying to tell you.
Yes.
When you see him do that back,
Get a lot more
look
control on it.
at him, he moves forward with it, naturally.
There's a reason they have those little girls
See?
to go like this.
That's
Really practicing.
I learned it all with people, man. Watching him get my ass kicked every class.
Yeah, this
This
is out
stuff,
here.
this stuff I
It,
don't.
it kind of moved you, but didn't do much else. So now I'm going to pull it.
See how he stumbled over?
Actually, I don't. I don't see that in anybody.
So all that was me going and pulling
And I
it.
played that game too.
Yes, do that.
So what I've learned in street fighting.
Yep, that's it.
I like that.
Yes.
Stand your ground.
Yeah.
Stand your ground.
That's
I instantaneously knew what you were saying.
So, I'm gonna
Do
get that.
what you gotta do.
If he steps forward,
Hit that,
Okay,
strike it, snap that elbow, then do that.
okay.
They are much more compliant if their elbow is broken.
Okay, see, that's what
Now-
I'm saying, so.
he went down too far for me to punch him.
So I want an actual,
Okay, so.
There
These are just what you're going to.
don't actually hit me, but I'm saying that's part of
Every
it,
10th of a second.
is to actually go
If somebody grabs you,
slam into that.
Oh,
It's good to
shit.
do with this.
am I gonna worry about this? No,
Yeah.
why would I?
Bam.
Bam.
So if
Or-
you hit that real hard,
Or,
either sprain it or break
Oh.
it, then you'll have to.
Sorry that already got me there earlier.
Whip that leg around.
Yeah. You know, in a real actual combat setting in a street fight, you don't have time you shouldn't have time to think about all the defensive and moving backwards. You need to fucking attack and initiate and do what you have to do.
So right now,
That's what I'm starting to learn now, you know?
if you're walking down the street and somebody's threatening you verbal,
Oh.
So you actually.
Keep your eye on it. Keep it.
Yes. So reach for it. Yes. You do that.
Somebody's gonna have it.
Just gotta hold on.
If somebody don't have the camera out.
Yes.
I'm building, so I like holding. Cameras are everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that'll be my big Hollywood push. Or look somebody's ass good enough to look good enough out there on. Hey, I heard of that.
Say, look at that Jimmy JJ Walker guy. He can what that guy does.
He could move. But I've actually heard people like, what was the movie of the guy who was a flight attendant? He was you know what movie I'm talking about? He would start making fake checks.
Oh yeah.
Oh, catch it if you can.
Yeah. And at the end of the movie, they offered him a job to be able to bust people like that.
Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah. It's a badass movie. He's a pimp. Same difference, you know, if you could really show that you had that talent in that art, you might actually get a job.
James Fox was talking about it because he did the part of Django.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm sorry, I just can't say this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't do it. And Jamie was like, dude, it's a movie. Okay.
Yeah, get over it.
Get over yourself. It's part of the script. You can say it. He said the next day he came in. Hey, dude, what happened? Kept on. Oh, he didn't mind saying it then. Method acting, I guess.
That's good acting. He's a great actor.
Stretching time.
D'Artagnan, come on out that tree. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you.
Holler at him.
Stretching time.
Well, I guess that concludes. We'll resume the last one of your ability techniques are important. Yeah, we don't have enough time to do it. The last one, we'll get to it.
We're late on the stretching.
Just do about half.
Yeah.
Half the technique, about half the time. Come on, gentlemen! Waiting on you. Bring me all your papers.
Okay.
That was Howard.
Not telegraph. The last one was leaning in and they were going. Calf stretching.
Calf stretching.
Now, is it true to a drill that I see on the internet to not learn how to not telegraph your punches will be to just simply practice grabbing a cup of water with each hand without showing any energy?
It'll work. It'll work. To some degree. There is no one way or the other way that works. There's a lot of ways that work. It's up to you to figure those things out. How they're going to work for you. I'm missing my first degree blackness.
It might be out there. No, it should have been in that stuff.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll only do one set of this one. So,
That's kicker.
Should be in that pile that it was hanging up with all the other stuff.
Oh, there it is.
Got it.
switch.
Where's our new student crew at?
I only know where they're not.
They come during the week?
Jorge has. Nick said that he's got stuff that he's got to get done first. Still working on settling into a good job.
Off to the side.
People come, people go.
Yeah, the guy I've been talking about, he just hurt his back. He was gonna come today, but he just got a back injury at work because he lifted a weight wrong.
Oh,
So, and you know, tall guys to get to the pad
Towards your thing. Elbow towards your toe.
Look, you down other side, other side.
So you might come next weekend depending on how it feels.
Okay.
He works the same shift as me, so he'd be
It's a
Saturday.
hamstring stretch.
I probably won't give him the same cut that I give you.
Let's see.
I haven't told him any prices or anything.
Okay, there we go. Can you do a front splits? You sure look like you could.
Like it. Really look like he's doing it right now.
Okay, then turn to the side. Other way, there you go.
Those Nikes are fresh.
Thank you. Alright, and then switch.
Rob's jealous.
Yes, I'm jealous. Sorry, how it would be.
Go to the side.
Now, Miko, don't leave before I get the picture.
Yeah.
Get with your new belt.
Yes, sir.
Shout in.
And Seafood, don't leave. And Tyra, I'm probably gonna have to have you take a picture.
Huh?
Have you take a picture.
Oh, okay.
So nobody gets to leave.
So I feel like my legs are rebelling.
You're going through rebellion stage still?
Well, they all tightened up and gotten sore. So it's like, oh, I have to convince them all, every piece, to loosen up. It's like this is what we're doing. Don't you try getting less flexible.
Exactly.
Are we doing herb work now?
No, that was just part of the second half of the Shaolin. Okay. Now, let's see. Yeah, just do regular. Just
It felt so nice running yesterday in the cooler weather. I'm gonna do it again today.
Jog?
Oh, yeah.
How long you jog?
Yesterday I only did a 5K.
Only did it?
5K, what's that?
3.2 miles.
Oh, hell no.
10K is roughly 6.
Yeah.
It doesn't line up perfectly,
But I usually do that in about 20, 21 minutes. And
So
so
you run
then
3
the
miles,
slow-
so you're clocking in about 7 minutes a mile.
pretty much.
That's pretty damn good time.
Yeah.
Good time. Yeah.
Whenever I'm in shape, I can do it in about 18 minutes. So. But
That's about, when I was in the military, those were the highest expectations, was to be able to run a mile in 6 minutes flat.
Are you also in gear?
No, that's a regular route.
that's like miles back to back or just 1 mile?
1 mile.
1 mile, 6 minutes.
If I did 1 mile, I haven't tested myself in a long time, but if I just did 1 mile, I'd probably do it in just over 5 minutes.
Well, and everybody's a little different. Like, there's some people who, like, the best 2-milers cannot beat the best 1-milers at the mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a different body types.
Mhm.
So it's like,
I'm not a sprinter by any means.
remember, what was it? Was it Prefontaine? He was really, really good at the 2-miler, but he always wanted to do the mile because that was the glamorous one. But he was just never quite up there with the top people.
Yeah. That's like in swimming, when I was doing swimming, the people that do the 50 meter were always the top tier over the 100 meter.
Yeah.
The 100 meter was just a sideshow, but the 50 meter, people doing that in 20, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had an Olympian on my team when I was in high school, and that dude looked like a motorboat going across the water.
Yeah.
That was great.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, the last bit you guys haven't done this before, but there's a reason why I skipped the things that stretch the hip flexors, kind of. And so this will work on balance, so it'll replace tree. So this is called half moon and then reverse half moon. So the balance part starts off, you just have to really get your weight over the lead foot. Watch for a second. Yeah, you have to get your weight really over that lead foot like this until you can get it here, and then you can put this out here or back here. Either way, that's the balancing. And then for the stretch, so try that first, just balance. Okay. Then for the balance, for the stretch part, the first one, this will also be balanced, but it's good for you to pause and see real quick. And then here, then you put your right hand down, and then we slowly turn out this way. Hold that for a bit. So try that. And you want, so the reason that I brought it across the chest like that, you want to turn outward. So you don't want to be facing this way and then just going like this. You want to actually turn your chest so that you're out this way. Try that.
This stretches the hip flexor.
It will. Right now it's wearing it out.
Right, Andrew.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
So, Shraj, what'll help you is right now your base arm is too far to the right. There we go. Now if you touch to the ground, that would have been it. So your base arm has to be directly in front of your foot. So if it's out here, that's not going to be far enough. So you get to here, and that will allow you to turn all the way. So next bit, get into that balance, turn in the opposite direction. This is the hip flexor stretch. So get here, get that balance, and then left hand and turn this way.
So you go like this and then over.
Just to facilitate, I want my chest to be outward.
Okay.
Try putting your base foot right in front of your foot.
Oh, it hurts.
Yep. Hurt this.
It hurts.
Try it again. Just one more time. Try it again.
That's what I needed yesterday when I blew my hip out. Seriously, it hurt when I took that step. You just felt you knew something was wrong.
Turn your head. Oh, yeah. Ah.
Yeah, I tried.
And then try to straighten the leg. Not lock it, but. Right, left. So start off with just the balance. So just slowly transfer the weight. And then lift. And then when you can, put that left hand down.
Get your foot off the wall.
Now we're gonna hit that.
That's very complicated.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to do it.
No, this is working on your balance and your hip flexor at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a combination stretch.
If you are not getting any stretch because you just can't do the balance, you can also do a reverse triangle, which is to be down here like this. That'll also work it. It's just not as much. The main thing with that is it heats up that hip flexor like crazy doing this stuff and wears it out with all that balancing. Because it's only your hip flexor that's moving around to balance because nothing else can. And then, so it wears it out, and then the final thing is to stretch it out. So it's wearing it out while it's balancing and tired. So now you stretch it, and it works.
That way it can't lock up on you. So,
Yeah.
Go ahead and bow out and we'll get a picture of Nico.
Yes.
Ready?
Jeet Kune Do is a non-classical, non-traditional Chinese American martial art developed by Bruce Lee and James Lee for actual combat in the street. It is described by Bruce Lee as scientific street fighting, derived from Wing Chun Kung Fu, Western boxing and fencing, using the principles of realism, simplicity, and individuality, wood sport, competition, or aesthetics, using no way to play, having no limitation and limitation.
Nicely done. That's the right end of Nico.
Yes.
Nico, teachers in the middle, please. Leave your clothes on.
Keep your clothes on.
Leave your clothes on. Going to start stripping all automatically.
And that second stretch suddenly I hit my hungry button.
Here you go, back up.
We're out of breakfast energy.
Back up to the middle.
Back up to
You're
the
right in the star. Squeeze in. Let's see, Sherrod. Let's come down to Sherrod. I'm gonna be where you are, Andrew, so
back up like that. There you go.
you can move over. Yeah, you're taller than she is. About like that. About 5, 6 pictures. Liable, most likely to catch everybody with their eyes open. And all that stuff. Left hand, please. Right hand, please. It's going to make my ass look big. I'm covering it.
Guys, stop talking.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Look at me go, purple tag.
Now you gotta hand over the ceremonial purple shirt.
Give it up, give it up.
Bad. Bad.
Yep, Sherrod's got his eyes closed. Let's see.
All of them?
No, not all of them.
Most of them.
Cohen's got his eyes closed. That's why you take
Everybody's
pictures.
tired today.
I don't know what.
It's been a rough day.
All right, Nico, should be coming your way.
Yes, sir.
If you don't get it, let me know.
Okay.
I'll resend it.
All right.
I got a spicy